Number one, I stopped betraying myself. And I didn't even realize how many years I had been doing it quietly, gently, without even noticing. It didn't show up as loud choices, it showed up as small amounts, these tiny compromises. Little places where I pushed my own needs to the side so I wouldn't disappoint anyone else. And for a long time, I called that being strong. I called it understanding. I called it being the bigger person. But looking back, I see how often I moved myself where I should not have been. Self betrayal, it's subtle. It looks like saying it's okay when it's not. It looks like silencing your own feelings to keep the room calm. It looks like and feels like going along with things your spirit never agreed to. And at the time, I didn't call it betrayal, but God showed me that you can be kind and still abandon yourself. So, what it really looked like, it looked like holding back my needs, it looked like no peace, it looked like ignoring the discomfort in my spirit. I stayed quiet. I showed up when I should not have. I carried things God never asked me to carry. I dimmed myself. Not all the time, but I did it certain times. And eventually, God had to hold up a mirror, not to shame me, He would never do that, but just to remind me who I was. He showed me that betraying myself, that's not humility. That's not love. That is disconnecting myself from the woman that He created. So now I check in with my spirit before I answer anything. I begin listening to the uneasiness instead of ignoring it. I begin honoring the nudge because there's plenty times where I ignored it. But I began honoring the nudge, the whisper, the quiet warning in my chest. Because we get warnings. And little by little, I stopped abandoning the woman that I prayed to become. I stopped betraying myself in these small, little ankle biter ways. And I started choosing the version of me that God whispers to. Two, I stopped saying yes when my spirit was saying no. My yes used to come from a place of guilt, a place of pressure, a place where I felt responsible for everyone's comfort. I said yes when I was tired, yes when I was overwhelmed, yes when I needed more rest, yes when it was going against what God wanted me to do. God had to teach me about boundaries. Matthew tells us, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And I had to learn that no is not unkind. No is not distance. No is not rejection. No is alignment. No is peace. No is obedience. Now I check in with God before I agree to anything. I need to start checking in with Him before I answer my phone. I ask Him for peace before I speak my yes. I listen and I wait for that little tug in my spirit. The one that says, mm-mm, this is not for you right now. I give myself permission to rest, permission to slow down, permission to think before I commit because love doesn't require exhaustion. What does the Bible say about love? Love is patience. Love is kind. Yeah. Number 3, I stopped staying in spaces God was trying to move me out of. I was staying in spaces, connections, seasons that God was saying, girl, no. There were places I lingered because they felt familiar. There were rooms I stayed in because I didn't want to hurt no one. Situations I held on to because starting over felt scary. Staying too long looked like this. Trying to fix things God asked me to lay down. Trying to make seasons last longer than they were supposed to. Trying to revive something God already released me from. And then He began whispering, daughter, you don't have to stay anywhere that pulls you away from who I'm trying to make you be. What are you doing? Now I follow peace. I pay attention to what drains my spirit. I follow where God's grace is flowing. I listen when He says, this season served its purpose. I need you to move. Walking away isn't rejecting anyone, it's choosing alignment, it's choosing obedience, it's choosing the life He has for me, even when it requires me to do something that I don't want to do, even when it's uncomfortable. So I'm learning to follow God's whispers instead of my worries. Ladies, be good to yourselves. I'm watching you.